main event. Tribal Combat, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Undisputed Universal Championship.
We will not go as long as the match was, guys.
No.
I think they could have cut 10 minutes off that.
There was nothing that really set it apart from any other no disqualification, no holds barred match.
Especially when you have the other company doing what they're doing. I think it's really hard for WWE to do a hardcore match at this point. Especially what they did on Rampage the night before and that parking lot brawl.
Yeah.
Like hardcore wrestling in the WWE, I think is going to be harder and harder to pull off when you have Jon Moxley just gushing over on the other side.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't a bad match or anything like that.
No.
I thought, the spots were pretty cool. I think that, again, if you're going to call this Tribal Combat, anything goes. I think that there was an additional sort of intensity that needed to come with
Violence.
it because it essentially was a familial blood feud. This is they're trying to take this back to ancient civilization where, two people have conflict, one's gunning for the top of the food chain, fight to the death, essentially, fight to the finish, and it never felt like it got to that level, to that, like, I am willing to do this to you in order to reclaim my spot at the table,
Yeah.
But, what we did get was, typical interference by Solo, but Roman screwed up, hit Solo with the spear. That was another, crack in that relationship. But, I think the biggest part of this is Jimmy turning on Jey. Neither one of us saw that coming.
No, I did not. It kind of like you said, I think the violence needed to be a little bit more. When he brought out the strap, I was almost like, "Ooh, this could have been like a fun strap match." Where you get those audible whips and you get those audible sounds. This match took a minute to get into gear. Like the first part of it was good. It was a typical Roman kind of slow-paced match. When Solo got involved, then it picked up. Because I think the crowd were on their feet the entire time after that. Once Solo got involved, everybody was on their feet watching. So they could have cut off, I think it was 36 minutes total. You could have cut off 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and you could have put Trish and Becky on the damn card. It just didn't feel like, and I've seen a lot of people saying, "Hey, this jumped the shark." I don't think it jumped the shark. I don't think it jumped the shark at all. I like the angle with Jimmy and Jey. Jimmy's coming in. He's not rejoining the bloodline. I think that's where people are getting a little confused. He's not joining the bloodline. He is jealous of his brother, that every time he gets hurt, Jey is going to the main event status. But if you flip that, would that be Jimmy? Absolutely not. So that jealous brother aspect of it, I understand that. I can sink my teeth into that of anytime I go away, now you're the biggest star in the world, but when I'm back, we're under his thumb. That kind of thing.
We're back in the tag team division getting tag team gold. Yeah.
So I can see that one. This didn't feel like that moment for Jey. Like this was supposed to be Jey's moment of, I can beat Roman. I think we got one near fall from Jey.
Yeah.
And then obviously the pullout. I would have liked it better if Jimmy had come back on maybe that go home of SmackDown. And we could have Jimmy come out and help with Solo, kind of take care of Solo. And then we get almost like you remember when Chavo turned on Ray against King Booker? Yeah. Something like that. I think that would have been cool, where we know Jimmy's out here to help, and then boom, out of nowhere it happens. And that would have shocked us even more. Like, Jimmy was on your side for half of this match, and then he turns. Not just the random. And I heard from, I think, a report from the live crowd was everybody couldn't see it because of where the screens were. So when he revealed who it was, not everybody could see it. And that's nothing against WWE. That's not their fault. That's just kind of the way it's set up. It was a shocking moment for sure. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Solo did not walk out with Roman. That's
no.
Pay attention to that. I think Solo is the next guy to maybe, flip. Maybe he joins Jimmy, and we see Sami Zayn kind of come back into the fold. Help Jey out.
Yeah. He does have a dance card to fill now that KO's hurt.
Roman is not advertised until Saudi Arabia for anything. So it looks like Roman's going away, which part of me is okay with. Let this Uso storyline breathe. You don't need him over it. But also, for me, kind of taints his title run. If he's not going to defend it for 2 more months, or even have a presence, like at least give me show up.
Yeah, I think to your point there, when you look at Money in the Bank taking the pinfall loss, and then last night or Saturday night he just barely beat Jey. I mean, I think that and when looked at from that context, going away for a little bit might help, because it's not only is the pride wounded, but now it's like it is getting harder for me to hold on to this title now that I don't have Jimmy, now that I don't have Jey, now that I don't have Sami. Solo is hanging on by a thread here after I accidentally spear him that he didn't want to help me up, and I get speared through the barricade because of that. So, it would be, very heelish to go away for a bit and not put your title on the line, because, you've seen kind of your lot, one loss and then one win that a match you probably would have lost had Jimmy not interfered, and he doesn't want anything to do with you. So,
yeah, and then that's that's the other perspective that you and I have, and you and I look for on this show. Everybody's has the opinion and say it. We like to banter about. Just show up. For me, just show up. Like, cut a couple promos, whatever it needs to be. Plant the seeds for that next feud, whether that is with Solo. I can't really think of anybody else to heat up right now. Maybe AJ. If Randy comes back,
got the cross thing.
If Randy's cleared and he can come back, that's one they haven't done with Roman as the champion. They had the little mini feud for the tag titles, but Roman wasn't super involved into it.
Yeah, I think also depending on what we see with this new collective Bobby.
Yeah, but that's also a heel group, so that's kind of heel on heel. So I don't know if they want to go that route.
We don't necessarily know just yet, because while, yes, we saw them attack baby faces, they were still getting cheers for doing it. So I think that I think there needs to be a segment with everybody that, kind of explains the intentions and where they see this going. I mean, I think until we see that, as we're...
Don't you understand? You've been in the business long enough? If you come out in suits, you're a heel. Jericho.
I'm sorry, what does Cody Rhodes wear every week?
Jericho. When did he turn heel? What did he wear?
But what does Cody Rhodes wear?
What did the original Hurt Business wear?
They wore suits. I'll give you that. But I'm just saying, you say that all heels wear suits. I'm telling you, Cody Rhodes is a babyface and he wears a suit all the time.
Well, I'm not saying don't ask AEW fans think he's heel.
You generalize this. We're not talking about them right now, okay? They'll get their due. I'm
poking the bear, guys.
No, right, what are your star ratings for this?
Man, I'd say a 4 because I was there live, and just having that atmosphere. It felt like a big fight. It did. It had that big fight feel. The turn was awesome live to hear the crowd and that surprise. The spear to Solo. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, that just happened," and that was cool to see. I would say 4. I wish they would have cut some time on it because it did drag a little bit. The story afterwards, we'll see where it goes. I hope they don't rush the Uso match. Do it at Mania. You think they can hold out? That's 7 months.
I think they could.
Or maybe do the trilogy. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, because theoretically, you already know that at the very least, you could do, even if they don't get a match at the Rumble, they're both in it. Jimmy eliminates Jey to prevent that main event Jey Uso run again, and there's more fodder to get to that point. But I mean, I do think that they could get to WrestleMania from here. I do.
Yeah.
It'll take some finesse, but they can do it. Yeah.